Greetings, everyone. Core here, and again, it's that time of the week. I know I did. I was thinking last week when I did my review, I thought I had last Thursday night off, which I kind of didn't. I was supposed to see Ted. Um, Things just came up, and I didn't get to see Ted, and I may do a review later on, probably on my Facebook page when I go see it. I'll probably do just a written review, probably not a video review, even though it has been out and I'm sure many of you have seen it because it did very, very well. Um, but yeah, I might get to that later on, but not for at least the foreseeable future. So, but this week I saw The Amazing Spider-Man, which I just want to say, uh, just right off the bat, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I can't say it's a great movie. I can't say it was perfect. I can't say that. It's a really good movie. As far as my category, as far as the Spider-Man movies, I put Spider-Man number 2 as number 1 of my favorite, and then this would be tied with Spider-Man 1 in the second place spot, and then Spider-Man 3, of course, bringing up the rear. Um, I just uh, the writing. I gotta say, the one thing I didn't like about this is the writing. Um, because I'll get into that. It just seemed like they did like the writing didn't quite know the character of Peter Parker. Like they got him pretty well, but they didn't quite get him right. And I know I haven't read many of the Spider-Man comics, especially Amazing Spider-Man, so I could be wrong as far as his character profile and all that stuff. But from what I know of Peter Parker, which is quite a bit, this did not feel like Peter Parker. I was going into this thinking his hair was stupid because it's all poofy and up, and even when he takes off the mask, it's all nice. It's like it's it's like how is that possible? I mean, Peter Parker's supposed to have like a comb over, not poofy hair. So I was kind of hating on that going into it. I did get over it pretty fast because later on his hair does look more like Peter Parker, but still a little poofy. Um, I blame the whole tween Twilight crap and all that stuff for the way his hair looks. But as far as the Peter Parker, he was pretty good. The actor, I can't do anything. I can't say anything bad about him just because it's the writing's fault. It's not his fault. He did a really good job. Same with Gwen Stacy. I actually didn't see anything I didn't like about her. She's very well played. There were at the end, there were some scenes. Um, I don't want to spoil like it's only like minor little spoils, but you pretty much know what happens. Spider-Man fights the lizard, stuff like that. But at the end, it just felt I don't know. It's one of those movies where it felt like it could have ended like 3 times, and it didn't until it had to do this last little scene. And even that last little scene was good. It just didn't feel like it paid off as well. Like it hung in there a little too long, or didn't have the right scene at the end to really end this movie. There is a little bonus scene, a little past the credits, which you stay for. It's you won't have to stay too long for it, at least. The cameo by Stan Lee was one of the best uh, cameos. It comes later on in the film, about 3/4 of the way in, I would say. I would think that it was. It's really funny once you see it, and I freaking love Stan Lee. But yeah, so yeah, if I had to rate this movie, fuck, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Um, just because the action scenes were amazing, I would say that the action scenes were incredible. Uh, they really captured the way Spider-Man moves, the way Spider-Man fights. The web shooters were really cool, and I liked them. And they really captured the way Lizard fights too. It was really good because, of course, Lizard is stronger physically and big in his size, but Spider-Man did get a few good knocks in and stuff like that. He used his speed and his agility, and it was really cool, the fights that they did, and there was definitely enough to satisfy anyone um, in this movie that wanted to see the Lizard and Spider-Man fight. They fought maybe uh, two, I want to say 3 times. One kind of quick, two, and the last one were pretty good fights, fairly long. Of course, the second one was probably the best. When they're fighting in the high school, that's probably the only coolest ones. But the ending fight's pretty cool. But yeah, my biggest nitpick is just the writing. Um, there wasn't the oh, me and my friend. There's in the first Spider-Man one they have the whole saying that with great power comes great responsibility, and this one has a saying kind of like that, just longer. Like it's not a short sentence; it's kind of like a long paragraph. And I went with 2 of my friends, and as soon as we heard the line, we laughed because we were like, he pretty much said, "With great power comes great responsibility." Just he just took the long way around to get it. Literally, he went around the mountain to get to the point that he was trying to do, and like it's like why couldn't they just recycle it? I know it's supposed to be a reboot and all that, and they want to be different, but sometimes it's nice to have the classics. Um, I didn't like the way Uncle Ben died. I wish it was done different. Um, I wish Parker. Um, well, of course, we know, yeah, Uncle Ben dies, and in the scene, instead of the like in the first one where it's a wrestler and they're getting mugged and their money's getting stolen, he doesn't do anything because he got gypped. This one is he's at a liquor store and he doesn't have enough money or 2 cents for some chocolate milk, and the guy behind him like knocks some stuff over, distracts the cashier guy, takes the money from the cashier when it's open, takes some beer, and then also tosses the milk to Parker, and then they leave. And the liquor store guy chases after the bad guy, and the bad guy stumbles across Uncle Ben, who's trying to find Parker, and the gun appears, and Uncle Ben and the bad guy wrestle, and Uncle Ben's shot. And Parker's walking in the opposite direction. He hears it, and he turns around and starts walking to where the shot was fired, to where Uncle Ben is. The thing I did not like about the scene is Uncle Ben died really fast. Um, there was no last breath like the first one. There was no last saying. There was no. He was dead. Like literally, as soon as he was shot, he was dead, and that I did not like. I did not like. I think he should have. So, it sounds a little sad and a little sadistic, but I think he should have suffered a little more, at least until Parker got there, and then he could have died. His last sight was Parker, it was Peter, and it didn't work like that, and I didn't like that, and I didn't. Um, I felt Parker should have kept like he heard the gun. He should have heard the gunshot, and just thought, no, like why should I go home? Because he already kind of turned his back on the scene, so he should have kept going, and then got home and heard or seen the police at the house talking to Aunt May, and then here Uncle Ben's dead. Um, I think that would have been more emotional than the scene where he goes and finds Uncle Ben and cries, and I mean, because Uncle Ben's dead by the time he gets to him, and I just didn't like that. So yeah, that's one scene. Another scene is just what Flash, uh, which I think you'll notice it. He's trying to console Parker after Uncle Ben's death, and Parker's just having nothing about him. And when Flash grabs his shoulder, Parker lifts him up to the lockers, and Flash is saying like, "Dude, I'm sorry for your uncle," and Parker lets him down, and then Parker walks away and hugs Gwen Stacy, and I felt that could have been done way better. The way I would have done it is the same thing. Parker lets him down, and then Flash gives him a hug, like console him, like give. I mean, it's like they were focusing too much on Gwen Stacy and Parker, and I just, that's what I'm saying. The writing just it was catered to the teenage girls, and it's like that's not a superhero movie. A superhero movie is not supposed to cater to a teenage girl. It's the nerd. It's the geek. It's the guy that freaking has the whole collection of the Amazing Spider-Man and has read it like 50 times. Like, technically, I'm one of the guys. I mean, I have a whole bunch of junk. You can see my little Godzilla up there. I've had him. He's older than me, technically, by a year. Um, I have a freaking bat list. I have the Star Trek episodes on VHS for Roman mint condition. It's like I have so much crap to qualify me for my geek card, and it's like they kind of fucked up. Um, my friend at Wetland really liked it. He thought it was one of the best Spider-Man movies. As far as action, yes, action definitely the best. That's just because of the time it comes out. I mean, CG nowadays is just amazing, and it really blends well and stuff like that. But as far as story, the story was just really weak. The story was, it was just, it was just kind of weak. I mean, the scene where he's in the spider room, like there's a tons of spiders dropping on him, and then it cuts away to him walking, finding Gwen Stacy in the lab, and it's like, then he gets bit by the spider. It's like, why didn't he get bit in the room and then stumble home and stuff like that? Why did it have to wait until after he be reunited with Gwen Stacy? It's like they just, I don't know, like they just focused way. That's what it is. Now that I think of it, it's like they focused way too much on Gwen Stacy and Parker, their relationship, and I think that's what, in my mind, suffered the film. I think if they would have just cut it a little bit more and stuff like that, um, I think it would have been better. And in one of the scenes, uh, like I don't think I said this scene yet. I don't know because I've been ranting. I forget when I start ranting what I've said. But the bridge scene. If you've seen the 4 minute long trailer, it's pretty much the first minute or so. At the end, after he saves the kid and everything, he's on the bridge, and the guy asks like, "Who are you?" And it's like, I just wanted him to say, "Oh, I'm just your neighborhood. I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." And it's like he didn't say it. I was so disappointed on that. Like, I'm just like, why? What? Like, he's wearing the mask. Why couldn't they just dub that over? Like, it just would have been so easy. Why did they have to go with? Um, I think he said like, "Me, I'm no one," or something like that. I'm nobody, or something like that. It's like it's stupid. It should have been, "I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man," I believe it is. But yeah, it's just a lot of missed opportunities, this movie, and if you're like me, you'll see them. If you're not, like my friends, they're not as nitpicky as me, and they don't see how a movie could be better, and that's what I'm trying to show. This movie could have been better, and it could have had more depth to it if they made the few changes I thought of. I'm sure there was a few more I could think of. Um, but yeah, like it, it was good. I liked it. I wish there was a nod to the whole lizard having his ripped trench coat. Uh, I thought it was a little insulting the second time you see him with the trench coat, because it's like, how did he get that? He should have still been in lizard form, and he didn't have it before. But whatever. Um, Also, I wish there was a little nod to Mary Jane. That she's she's nowhere in this movie. I looked, I could not find her. Um, I don't even think I've seen a single. I don't even think I saw a single redhead in this whole movie. And it could have been just so simple as far as like someone calling her over and just a flash in front of Parker or whatever, like just a quick glance or something, and it just was not there. But yeah, I've ranted long enough, past the 15 minutes here, so until next time, I believe next week I do have off. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, you would see a little note or something saying I was wrong. But I am about 95% positive I do not have anything next week. So until next time, guys. Laters.